So once again, on behalf of the team of My Career Closet, I'd like to welcome all our attendees and our guest speakers for the day to this webinar session today. First of all, I'd like to welcome Dr. Crystal Clayton. She's the Senior Executive Director at Hunt Leadership Scholars Program and the Heggie Family Career Development Center, and comes with over 20 years of experience working with students in higher education. Next, I'd like to welcome Mr. Evan Saperstein. He is the Associate Director of Career Development at the SMU Heggie Family Career Development Center. And finally, I'd like to welcome Sabrina Snow. She's our VP of Partnerships and Sustainability at My Career Closet. We are going to talk about building bridges to success using structured career strategies for income-sensitive students. First, we will delve into the career readiness journey at the Heggie Family Career Center and the key programs they're using to support individual student circumstances. Second, we will discuss leveraging strategic partnerships to support income-sensitive students. And finally, we will delve into the key challenges and future opportunities in this space and the best tools at our disposal to measure success.
Yes, hello. It's great to be here today. Like Aditi said, my name is Dr. Crystal Clayton. I've worked here at SMU in Dallas, Texas since August of 2017. So I'm celebrating my 7-year anniversary this month. My entire career has been working in higher education and also professional development and leadership development.
And my name is Evan Saperstein. I'm the Associate Director for Career Development here in the Heggie Family Career Development Center. And I have been working in this office for a little over 2 years. Prior to this, I have about 12 years of student affairs experience in various other areas, mostly in housing. And then I had a short time outside of student affairs, working for a local running company, building partnerships and training programs for them. And so a lot of what we talked about today is going to highlight the partnerships we have with My Career Closet, how we support our students, and I'm really excited to share those opportunities with you.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you again. If you've gotten to join us for previous webinars, my name is Sabrina Snow, and I'm thrilled to be here with you and our special guest today. We'd just like to know, I think the audience would like to know a little bit more about how you define career readiness.
And so those guiding principles that we have in our office as a result of the strategic plan is that we prepare students, we equip them, we engage them, we connect with them, and we teach them how to connect with others in the job search process. And then we want to democratize the process and make it equitable and fair for everyone across the campus. And so really, as we were taking a look at our goals and our values, that is a framework for everything we move forward with and how we design our programming, how we design our counseling, how we take a look at resources. And so it's been a great and very helpful lens to look through as we have moved forward in the last 5 years. But I really think what defines our program and differentiates us are our distinguished programs. We have a great premier leadership program that was launched in 2018 called the Heggie Career Leaders Program. We call that our premier career development group on campus. As I like to tell our students, they opt in to us keeping them involved in their career development process. We have a board fellows program, which is a way that students can apply to be non-voting members on nonprofit boards in the DFW area. We have our DEI internship programs. This year, Evan and his team launched an annual case competition that we are continuing. And then obviously last year, we added a whole new program into our center that moved from academic affairs to our area called the Hunt Leadership Scholars Program.
How do you ensure consistency as you're going on your way supporting students through their career readiness journey?
Addition to that, we do have a decentralized career center model. And so we want to make sure that in that process, our students who we might see more often aren't getting different services than what the other areas are offering. And so we've transitioned to a new platform to have our appointments and resources. And within that, we wanted to make sure that our resources are aligned as far as what services electronically that any student can access. Additionally, our templates for resumes and other supportive resources in the process of job searching are also in line. And so we now, moving all to one platform, have a shared resource box that we've reviewed and cultivated to make sure that they're all similar and we're all aware of what's on there. And then lastly, those are tangible pieces there, but the part that we really want to focus on as well is training our staff. And so we regularly touch base with our counseling staff, which we have 4 professional staff members who are meeting with students, along with having our counseling interns that are part of our Master's in Counseling program, and encouraging them to be involved on campus. Something new we're going into this year also is that we are having our employer relations team cultivate some relationships and make a board of employers that advise our office. And so they're going to help us now get real world or real work feedback from these recruiters that can then help us in how we advise our students. So those are some tangible ways that we've really ensured consistency and are able to now provide a higher level of support in some of the appointments and ways that we meet with our students.
Kind of when talking about these different programs or initiatives, how have you found that, your team works best to kind of identify, allocating resources for the different programs or needs when it comes to each student? Do you provide it by student? Is it by group or program? How do you guys do it?
I mean, obviously, I think that one-on-one counseling is a big part of that. Just like, working with the students on an everyday basis, hearing what their concerns and questions are, and continually being in contact with them is a big part of what we do. But we know that we need to assess the process also. So we've started the practice of assessing our students every semester in our key leadership groups. That doesn't give us a holistic picture of campus, but it does give us a good idea of like what students are worried about or concerned about, what their needs are. But one of those or a few of the specific programs, first of all, we have an unpaid internship program, which I know some other schools do. But we have a program basically where when a student gets an internship in an unpaid space, maybe it's a low pay or unpaid internship, but it's really great for their major. It's really great for their career. We don't want them to give that up just because it's unpaid. At the same time, we are very passionate. We believe that all students need to get paid for their work. And so we are fortunate enough to have a limited amount of funds that we can grant certain students stipends for the work that they do off campus. A couple of our niche programs are the DEI and nonprofit internships. Students can apply usually in the spring for those. We are cultivating those employer relationships and those employer opportunities all fall into the early spring. And then students apply in the early spring. And if they're accepted into one of those DEI and nonprofit internships, and we support those programs by those students going through an internship preparation process with us. They have to complete different professional development requirements to be active and in good standing in those programs. So once again, it's a great opportunity for the student to learn, to practice that experiential learning, to get paid work, but then also to build up that professional development process simultaneously. And obviously, one of the main reasons we're here today is just the MyCareerCloset collaboration. That is a great way for us to offer students services on campus so they can feel confident in their new clothes, going to an interview. We have several different networking events over the course of the semester. Having that access to really great, sharp, professional looking clothes that's going to help students feel like they are comfortable and confident in their space when they go into those professional situations. That's been a really great addition to our services in the past year through our collaboration with MyCareerCloset.
So which strategies and programs would you say have been the most useful when supporting income-sensitive students?
Part of those programs I think that have been really successful is one we mentioned before is our Hege Career Leader program. And so this is something that we have in the past previously really recruited heavily from the first year. And we also reach out directly to those students who may have applied for certain specific scholarships. And so that's one way that we have really supported students who may need the development and support. Our Board Fellows program is now part of our core curriculum supporting programs. And what that means is that students who take this Board Fellows piece and add an additional component to it can get it counted for credit for graduation. And it's a competency credit. So it's not an actual academic credit, but it counts towards graduation as a requirement, and they do an additional writing assessment to it. And so students who are part of this program who are in the nonprofit sector are not only getting ability to help out others, but then getting opportunities to help them towards graduation. And so we want to be able to support that thing. And the second part of this, though, is how we support students is making sure that we're in their spaces. But you got to start with that knowing. And how do you know somebody? You're in their space. And so, like I said before, I encourage my staff to be present in student spaces. Our office is now doing things at I call KC events, where they are just being present across campus. So we have a partnership with our Meadows School of the Arts, and one of my staff members has just gone over there and tabled in that building. Well, they're the arts college, and so typically their career paths aren't as direct as some other industries. And so just being present in their space and explaining, hey, we can still help you create a creative resume. We can help you get into industries and support you in your process without them even realizing like, oh, that's not for me. They only do business students. And really, we don't. So being present there is one thing. Additionally, students who are underrepresented at our institution, we want to make sure that we're going to their Senate events and their group and organizations and clubs and inviting them to our space as well. Next week, we have an event called Open House. We did this last year and it paused prior to my arrival because of COVID and everything. But last year we had over 120 people come to our office. And the feedback was students didn't walk through our front doors. They knew where we were, but they never visited. And so this was a way to just say, just come to our space, just see what we're at. And all of our staff were here, doors open, and not talking about career development, just talking about life, talking about connections. That's how it starts. And that's really where it goes into this MyCareerCloset partnership, where like, if you feel confident and you feel comfortable in a space, because even with your service, when you wear something and you feel confident, you're going to be more apt to have that conversation and start engaging. And so this is kind of our ethos of where we've kind of led to, and now it's expanding to a lot of different services and support.
But, what partnerships specifically, Dr. Clayton, do you think have helped kind of enhance the services that you already offer to students?
We really need and we want to be involved with the entire campus. So that really cannot be a success without us working with other career centers and academic colleges. And that is always at top of mind for me. Especially in the last few years, we've built some really great connections with our academic colleges, which have been really exciting. And those colleges that we've had pre-existing relationships with, we've built out some new programming. One of them has existed for about 7 to 8 years now. It's called the Economics Extra Credit Program. Econ is the largest major that we have in our Dedman College. And therefore, we really want to definitely pay attention to them, and their professors have reached out to us, like, how can we do better and how can we collaborate on getting these programs delivered to our students, or getting our students excited, or in this case, giving them extra credit. Probably about 7 years ago, we started collaborating and finding a way that professors can opt in to giving their students extra credit for coming to our programming. We send a report to those professors every semester of who participated, and then they can give those students extra credit as part of that process. That's a way that we found that really motivates students, and it really helps them along in their professional development process. And ideally, they're making a really strong connection while they're at those events or in those one-on-one appointments with our team. Like, how do we roll that out in different spaces on campus, where we know it's motivating students to get to our programs, and then also they're getting more involved as a result of that. We were finding about 7 or 8 years ago, again, that our students that wanted to go to medical school, they had great grades, they were very involved, but they weren't always getting into medical school or the med schools that they wanted to, largely because they didn't have as many shadowing opportunities as what they needed. So this year, we are very excited to relaunch our pre-health, we call them healthcare connections programs, where our students can apply to be partnered with one of our healthcare providers in the Dallas area. And they can go back to that same provider over the course of a semester and really build up those volunteer / shadowing hours. We go to a class that all of our Meadows School of the Arts students have to take, and we talk to them about all of our services, what they can expect when they come in the center. Once again, they meet us. Hopefully they feel more comfortable before they get on site. Some of those students actually, and some of those professors, they've participated in programming through their classes in our center. A couple years ago, for the first time, one of the professors said, "Hey, can we do a mock interview day in your office? And can I bring my class?" That was so fun. We didn't really know how it was going to work at first, but once we did it, we're like, this is works. We can recreate this for different classes, and we have since then. Another thing that we've been able to do with the School of the Arts specifically is working with their development person there that works with the students to get information out about our Meadows career counseling appointments. Specifically, those students have to come and talk to us if they want access to any Meadows School of the Arts job shadowing or internship opportunities, and if they want to access to any virtual coffee chats, which are with Meadows School alumni. This, last year when we first started with MyCareerCloset, we just did a pilot with our 2 main leadership groups in the Hagee Center, one being in our Hagee Career Leaders and the other being our Hunt Leadership Scholars, which had just moved from academic affairs into student affairs with us. what we've been able to do this year is I think it's going to be really great. We have other offices on campus now that are jumping on board. And so now we have about 5 or 6 offices on campus that are all going to take advantage of this great opportunity for their students to have access to professional clothing on a monthly basis. And I'm really excited to see what it does and how we can impact different groups, because they're not career centers. There are a couple other career centers that are involved, but really there's scholars programs that are getting involved. There's pathways to industry programs that are getting involved. There's different more academic based programs that are seeing the value in this service. And so that's the way we can roll it out in a really, I think, a robust way on campus that's going to make a difference for students in many different pockets of campus.
The program specifically, I think that our assessment working with the MyCareerCloset team, seeing the utilization of the service, and then the flexibility of the feedback to be provided and implemented really allowed us to ensure that the service was being offered in a way that our students could really utilize it. I believe that for us, our school year started in August, like many. We weren't able to roll this out until September, our first pilot. And we already had our first meeting for our Head Career Leader program. I know they've already had their first meeting for the Hunt Scholars program. So we were able to deploy it, but it was after we had already started all the conversations, and we had then added in like, oh yeah, we also got this. This is new. And so even with that, we saw that I believe that the utilization rate was about 40%. Having the ability to check those numbers and see, hear the stories from our students, and then ensure that they were getting a good service allowed us to continue the partnership and then assess the impact of this program. And we saw this in a few accounts from our students. And recently, I'll give you one example of a student story. So a parent came into our office because on Thursday and Friday of last week, they had move-in days, and they had a parent and family tabling event where we were present. And so the parent came upstairs to our office, walked in, and started asking about what our career closet was. So they said, how do I get support for my student in business attire, professional attire for their industry? And I had asked additional questions now that we've invited more partners to join in on the service. And she happened to be a part of our Head Career Leader program. And so I was like, don't worry about it. If she can't make it tomorrow, she's going to get a box. She's going to get a subscription service that she can get new clothes every month. And this parent teared up. And she's like, I'm really sorry. This is just very exciting, especially for me having 2 daughters in college. And it's just like, I didn't really know the impact until you actually see it there. And it's represented on like just showing emotion, impact that we've had to know that students need this service. A second story is that one of my grad students as well, we do provide this for our office because we have extra codes, and we wanted our office staff to utilize it to then advocate for our students to use it. And I mentioned it to our new grad, and she's an international student, and she is enrolled in the MBA program here. And she was told that one of her suits or one of her blazers wasn't business professional enough, or wasn't in the attire they wanted. I don't know if it had a certain design or thing to it, but she said it's not going to count for what I need it for. And I was like, don't worry, you have also the service that we're going to provide to you. And same thing, she's like, that's amazing. I came here with nothing. And so it was really helpful for her knowing that she had one blazer, and now she's able to get a subscription service to help support her in her journey being a grad student. And what had happened is kind of leads to the start of why this was such a push for our office, is that students have come to myself, our employee relations team, as well as the employee relations team in our business school, and had said that they need support in finding clothes. So last year we had 2,000 items of clothes donated, over 700 students attended, and the demographic that attended were first-year students, whether it be first year in college or first-year grad students. And being that those two populations were over 2/3 of the population that came to the event, just showed to us that this is something that students want. It's not just a few that come to us and ask about it, but students, even at our institution, which is expensive private or has an MSRP, very expensive, still need support. And they don't always come with the assumed resources they have. And to be fair, or not to be fair, but to give credit to our Vice President of Student Affairs, he mentioned, like, I had doubts. I didn't think our students were going to use your one-day career event, and they did show up. And so he's openly supported now and very forward about how he wants us to continue, at least for the next few years. But that's only one day. And so now the My Career Partnership continues that for us and allows us to then reach additional students who are involved in our organizations as well. Now we can get the codes where we can send it out to other students who may be of need and come to us or go to those other organizations that have purchased those codes. And that's.
But I'd love for Dr. Clayton, and you, Evan, to just, share some closing remarks for our audience. And then finally, Sabrina, over to you. What's that?
Over the first, 5 to 6 years I was here, we got a question about, hey, do you have a career closet? And it was just, no, we don't offer this service. But I really didn't know how it was going to really turn out. I didn't know if it was going to be a successful event or not. And it obviously was, but really what I took a look at is I am open to this, but I do not have the space for a career closet all year. And also now we have My Career Closet on top of that. And so when we get those questions now, we have a solution.
Yeah, I couldn't summarize it any better. I mean, this has just been such an impact for our campus, and Sabrina, I worked with Sabrina to coordinate a video that will highlight a lookbook that's available on My Career Closet, the website, and it's going to be playing on our screen so that students are waiting to go into the room. They're also getting advice on what they should bring. We have toyed with ways about how when they go to this event and they could take these free items of clothing, like how do they know they're picking the right clothes? Like they might just choose whatever. And it's just another way for us, even though we're limited on staff to be present and volunteers, that we have another touch point to show the resources that My Career Closet provides. So the My Career Closet team is not just hey, subscribe to this service and we're just going to let you off on your own. Like it's a true partnership, and I've really felt that. And what we meant before, that KCE piece of building relationship, I feel like our office now has a relationship with the team and are able to ask them questions and rely on them more than just how do we provide clothing, but how do we provide additional support and resources through multiple facets. And so I've just really appreciated that.